Welcome to another episode of the TerryWilson3.com podcast, the show where entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders come to get the tools, insights, and strategies they need to grow, thrive, and win in their markets. Today, we're diving into a topic every business owner needs to hear. It's easy to focus on driving more sales to increase revenue, but what if the real key to more profit is already in your hands? In today's episode, Terry's going to reveal 10 powerful strategies to help you cut costs and drive efficiency across your business. From mastering online marketing to streamlining customer service and reducing operating expenses, you'll learn how to optimize your operations and potentially cut your costs by up to 80%. Whether you're a small business owner, a startup, or even a solo entrepreneur, these insights will help you make smarter decisions, save money, and create more profit. So get ready, grab a notebook, and let's learn how to boost your bottom line without spending a dime more on sales. Now here's your host, Terry Wilson.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com.
TerryWilson3.com.
Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
What is going on, family? This is episode 621. Today I want to talk to you about 10 ways that you can cut cost and improve the efficiencies in your business, which would drive more profits. I don't know if you're like me, but a lot of times in my professional career as a business owner, no matter what industry I was in, whether it been in music, whether it been in insurance or direct sales or other things, there's always this, and it could be personality driven, but I think there's a lot of people like me. So that's why I wanted to put this out there as far as have this mindset, because I deal with a lot of you. And so we're all alike in this one area. Sometimes we try our best to drive sales, more sales. And I'm a huge proponent of that. There's nothing that more sales, there's not a problem out there that more sales won't solve, provided the sales is profitable. Now, I have found situations where every time I made a sale, and I've told that story before, every time I made a sale back in the music business, I was losing $50 every time I sold a piano at one point. Because while the margins on the sale of the piano was handsome, I was grossly underselling the cost of the logistics of getting it from point A to point B, and the labor and the cost of the trucks, insurance, and all that. So net every time, I mean, I thought I was there for a season. You know, if I sold 10 pianos that week, I said, hey, we've made X amount of dollars, not knowing that, no, actually, I just lost $500 this week. So that kind of, you learn real quick what you don't know about your business, especially the accounting part, when you're dealing with physical objects that have to be shipped and stuff like that. But today, I really want to work on and share with you what I have learned is there are seasons, and there's not a season that goes by that I'm not cognizant of and motivated to make more sales. But there's some seasons that you go through in your business where, that's just not possible. It's just not that, I've no realtors in this area right now that they tell me when it goes into the winter months, it slows down, and there's not you can throw all the marketing you want. You can invest in all of the campaign and the ads and do everything you can. But there are a few months out of the year that it's just not going to be, very lucrative as far as closing more deals in that area. It don't mean you won't make any, but it does slow down, and there's really not a lot you can do about it. And there's a lot of businesses that have, those seasonal attributes to the product type that they sell. But there's not a time period that goes by that I find that you can't figure out how can I drive efficiencies and be more cost savings on what I'm doing. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, because no matter where you're at in your business, no matter what season you're in, no matter what market you call on, there's always room to improve what I'm spending and question the effectiveness of what I'm doing. And am I getting the most and the highest return on investment, the biggest bang for my buck? And there's some areas in our business that no matter what type of business you're in, you're going to have these expenses just because it's the cost of doing business. There's cost of goods sold, there's operational costs, there's overheads that no matter what kind of business you're in, you could even be a work from home business. And that's what I tried to do in this list. I tried to pick out 10 things that no matter if you were brick and mortar or you were more of a remote type business like I am, where you can work from home, or if you're in a service industry or a retail industry or whatever, I try to pick out things that no matter what type of business you're in, more than likely you are going to have these type of expenses. Okay. And so that's what I'm going to focus on today, even to the point where you could be a solopreneur out there and you can say, well, I don't have any employees, but you can't scale your business if you don't have other people pulling in the same direction. So I'm going to show you some cost-effective ways to outsource, rather than having a huge payroll and having, the cost of an employee. I'm going to show you some ways that you can offset that and do it in a very effective, efficient way because sometimes I work with a lot of solopreneurs out there. They don't realize that they could grow exponentially in the next 90 days simply by leveraging the labor of other resources. And their mindset is, well, I can't afford another person. And I'm not even talking about hiring another person. I'm just talking about leveraging some other resources that you can use. So let's get into this right now. There's 10 things I'm going to go through. One is going to be basically your online presence and your SEO strategy there. And a lot of clients have told me, well, why do I even need a website in today's world? And I'll tell you why and speak to that, because there is a real reason. Now, it might not be as big of a reason as it once was, but there's still a real reason. No matter what business you're in, no matter what type of business you're in, you've got to have a website. It could be just a one-page site, but there's a real reason for that, and we'll get into that. So number one, I'm going to talk about your online presence and the SEO strategy. I'm going to talk about your social media strategy. I'm going to talk about your text and email marketing strategy. I'm going to talk to you about your just basic telephone. A lot of people are spending so much money on a phone that they no longer have to, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your online reputation, where if you're not investing anything in it, it's costing you money. And if you are investing money into it, you could be misappropriating those funds and it costing you as well. So we'll get into that. I'm going to talk to you about your point of sale system. A lot of folks don't realize they need one. A lot of folks think that what they have is sufficing to or satisfying what their needs are, and we'll examine that. Number 7, I'm going to talk about your customer and data management system. Some clients like, I don't even have one. Well, that's costing you money. I'll tell you that right now. Some people have one and they don't realize it. Some people have one and it's so cumbersome they don't know how to use it. So we'll talk about strategies there. 8, we're going to talk about customer service. And sometimes when you're on, especially if you're a solopreneur, you're so busy out there trying to create new business, write new business. Sometimes the support of that business gets suffers. And so we're going to show you how it don't have to suffer. You as one person, you don't have to hire, people to customer service reps to help support that business. We'll show you how that business can be satisfied and you can scale your business, taking you away from the service end of your business and getting right back into the producing side of your business, which is always helpful. We're going to talk about your appointment management, number 9, and then 10, we'll talk about your funnels and reporting, because sometimes as business owners, we just think we're, like I did in that piano illustration right there. I thought, well, we had X amount of people coming through and buying and then this, but until I got real wise on my numbers and reporting, I didn't realize actually every time I made a sale, I was losing money, even though I thought I was doing well. So as a business owner, there's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts we have to manage, figure out. So we're going to talk about each one of those 10 points. So let's get into it. Number 1, your online web and SEO. There is the importance of having an online website is not necessarily as it once was, where that is your only footprint in the digital landscape. But you have to have a part of the internet that you actually own, number 1, because space on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of these different social media platforms, which I'm a huge proponent of, you need to have, it is rented space. Okay. And the other thing is, especially if you're brick and mortar, or especially if you have a product or service, that more times than not, the people that are going to find you are people that are searching at that point on what you offer. Let's say you're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're a web designer like me, or digital marketing person like me. No matter what it is you offer, more times than not, the people that are in the local market that's going to find you are going to pick up their phone and say, hey Siri, hey Alexis, hey whatever. And if you don't have that asset online, which is your own page to tie all of those back end search engines to, you're not going to be found. You can't. I'm amazed how many local business owners I've dealt with over the years that feel like, well, my Facebook page is my local presence, and it can satisfy for people that are on Facebook. But what about the clients that are not looking on Facebook for what it is you offer? You're losing a huge swath of the internet. And the other thing is, more times than not, you will have people say, hey, and they'll post in a group saying, hey, can anybody recommend a local fill in the blank? And you can get business that way. I get business that way all the time. But for the people, especially new movers that have just moved into the community, or people that are not connected as well, more times than not, they're going to use Google, Yahoo, or a search engine or voice, and they're going to say, hey, I need a local this, or what's the best this, or what's the best that, or what's the lowest cost near me, blah, blah, blah. And all of that is contingent upon you having your own, and it can be just a simple one-page site with, a chat bot laying right there so they can opt in to call you, to talk to you, to text you. But you got to have that digital asset that belongs to you, because a lot of times these social media platforms are not getting picked up in local search. And plus, you're also competing with other things that might not be needing to be in the same search when you're just depending on using social media for that. So you got to have your own thing. So that's number one. And here's the other thing. You don't have to spend $250, $300 a month for that. That's the other thing. A lot of local business owners we've worked with over the years. I had a client that I just signed up as a year ago. They're spending $550 a month for their website and their SEO. We literally was able to save them almost 80% on that. You just don't have to spend that kind of money. You can save yourself a ton of money. And so that's a big expense. And I don't know what you're paying. Maybe you're not paying anything. Well, you're losing money. Maybe you're paying too much. Let's look and see. But you've got to have that component no matter what kind of business you're in. And if you're spending too much, you're spending too much. Let's look at it. Social media is one of those things I believe can hurt you more than can help you if it's done wrong. I see organizations and businesses all the time, because they don't use those platforms correctly, they actually lose online relativity more than they gain online search and discoverability. It is amazing to me, because you can't use social media as some sort of email marketing system that you just throw up anything you want, say whatever you want, link to whatever you want, put whatever graphics you want, because you're going to get dinged by that platform. And it's a little bit more nuanced than most people want to think about. And so the alternative is, a lot of times people spend thousands of dollars on trying to do something. It doesn't work because the way it's being done is just going to backfire on them. Or they spend thousands of dollars on paid ads, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But more times than not, most of the business owners I talk to, when you talk about social media marketing, they just say, no, because they've had such a negative experience. And I would tell you, you've got to have it up there, but you don't use it the way you think you do. Really, what social media is for is to drive all traffic back to your own asset and have those links specifically and congruently exactly the same. Example, I know it sounds weird, but like, for instance, my number here at the office is 864-507-9696. If I on Facebook put caps 864, or I put in brackets, bracket 864 back bracket, and then over on LinkedIn, I have no brackets. And then on my website, I don't even have dashes. Right then and there, the search engines and the relativity of these assets have been broken. Those are broken links, because they're all, even though, to the human mind, well, they say the same thing, but to an algorithm, they're completely different because their characters are completely different. which means my online discoverability has now suffered. The other thing is, if I'm posting links on social media, trying to get them to go to this sales funnel or this ad page or something else, a lot of times that ad or that post will be suppressed by LinkedIn or Facebook or whoever, because you're trying to get people off of their platform. And that's counterintuitive, and that's against what they're wanting. They're wanting people to stay in their sandbox, not leave it. And there you are posting something. Now, they allow you to do it, but there's a way of getting people off of Facebook, off of LinkedIn, off of wherever, and over to your website. But you just can't put in a link in the description and all of that. You have to use it in the comment section or in the actual graphic or a call to, like I used to put text this to this number. And when they did that, it would be sending them a link that then when they pressed on it, it would take them. But there's workarounds you have to do. Said all that to say, social media, you can spend a lot of money and time and get nowhere, but it's because of what you're doing and how you're approaching it. It does work, but it's just got to be done right. And if you do it right, you don't have to spend money on ads. You really don't. You don't have to work that hard because you just do a couple things. And the payoff is, it's just like I only post 2 or 3 times a week, but it's what I post and it's why I post. There's some things, it's like a billboard. I just want to stay in the mind of my audience. There's other things. There's a direct call to action. I'll put some money behind it and I'll do different things. But you got to understand why you post and when you should post and how you should post to get the best bang for the buck. Don't give up on social media. Give us a call. We can give you some strategies there and some tools. And here's the other thing. Most business owners don't have all day to play online and just start posting. You are running a restaurant. You're running a service company. You're doing your business, and you only have X amount of time. So there are tools out there that rather than paying someone, I was dealing with someone the other day, they were paying someone $1,500 a month to manage their social media accounts. And I showed them one tool that they could use for literally $50 a month, did exactly what those other folks were doing. And it's like, my God, I'm paying this. I said, exactly. You don't have to pay these digital marketing agencies and all of that. All you have to do is use it this way. I'll show you how to use it. And literally you can program out your whole social media strategy for the next coming 6 months if you want, or 3 months. I don't like going out but so far because things change, the market changes, the zeitgeist changes, the language needs to change. Where we're at today in December or November, we're in November 10th. It's going to be different in February, March. And so there's going to be new problems in society in different markets. And so there need to be new solutions. So I only like to go out so far. But the point is, you can, one day a week, program out a couple weeks and save yourself tons of money and time doing it right and doing it yourself. And we can show you how to do that. Number 3, text and email marketing. If you don't have a list, I have said it and have been saying it since 2008, the loot is in the list. Every time you speak to someone, every time I have a phone call with someone, every time I encounter someone at the gym, at the church, at the restaurant, at the ball game, wherever I'm at in social interactions, I am giving them my information and capturing their information, and it's going into my system so that I can email and text them. I have over 400,000 people now on my list. I have about 65,000 of those folks that are active that I'm constantly sending information to. And the reason I am is because the larger my list and the more specific and niche my list is, the more apt I am to find success. And based on the type of customer and interaction is what's going to drive whether I am texting them or email them. If it's up front, I'm first meeting you, I'm first dealing with you, I'm first talking to you, we just met, you're going to get a text from me. And you're going to get a text for a little bit. And then there's going to come a time in that relationship nurturing process that I've got it set to, okay, this person has already either become a client, become a follower, or they're just sort of backed up and wanting to observe. And I am going to rotate from more of a heavy engagement on texting to, I don't want to pester them, I don't want to push them away. So I'm going to back off from that and just send them drips of email from time to time. And that's how I approach my texting and email strategy. But did you know that you can get a text and email bundle for way less than what you can? Constant Contact, Get Response, Aweber, all of these texting systems and marketing systems that cost hundreds of dollars a month, you can get for a fraction of that by bundling it together. We can show you how to do that. If you don't have a system like that, I encourage you to get one, because it's a whole lot cheaper to send out email. Typically I'm sending out about 65,000 emails a day. That is way cheaper than trying to touch 65,000 people with an ad, with a keyword, with all of these different campaign types that I could do. Cheapest thing I can do is drip email. Now, I get a 12% open rate and a 2% click rate. So, it is the least effective, call to action. If I really want people to open that communication, I really want them to do something quick, I'm going to send a text message, but I've got to measure whether this relationship where we're at the time with that customer warrants, that kind of strain. Because every time, this is my mindset, but every time I send out a text, I'm potentially straining, putting a little pressure, putting a little stress on that relationship, because 98% of texts are open. But you don't want to take advantage of that, because if they are seeing it, but if I'm not sending the right message at the right time that meets them where they're at, it's real easy for them to say stop, and then they're out of my system. And because, to comply with laws, everybody's platform now has that opt-out feature. So you just got to be cognizant of that. Think about what you're doing. But if you're paying Aweber, Get Response, MailChimp, these things, hundreds, and, at one time I was paying MailChimp $800 a month. I literally replaced that for about $25 a month. That's how cheap it was. Okay. You can do the same thing. We can show you how to do that.
Please, folks, I know you're tempted to, but do not panic. Terry and the TW3 broadcast will be back right after this extreme profitable timeout for our sponsors.
Success is not a mystery, it's a science, and we've cracked the code. Imagine a world where you're not just another player, but a game changer. That's the power of SEO. It's like being the quarterback in a football game, but the field is the internet and the goalpost, the top of search results. Our secret: we seize opportunities that others miss. Like a sprinter spotting a gap and breaking free from the pack, we don't just follow the trends, we set them. And how do we measure success? Through tangible metrics, increased traffic, higher conversions, and a boosted online visibility that's as clear as the difference between night and day. Your journey towards online success starts here. Ready to boost your online visibility? Contact us for personalized SEO solutions at terrywilson3.com. Remember, success is not a destination, it's a journey. Start your journey with us today.
This story comes from Chapter 9, entitled Sometimes People Get Stuck.
Sometimes in life, people get stuck at times, caught up in situations they can't quite see their way out of it. I remember one day after school when I walked into such a moment myself. As I stepped off the school bus, I heard this loud banging noise as soon as I walked through the front door of the house. And it was coming from a room somewhere just beyond the kitchen. Curious, I made my way toward the sound. When I got to the kitchen, I found my mom and grandfather standing there, shaking their heads in frustration. My grandfather was sipping on his coffee, and neither one of them looked too thrilled with whatever was happening in the other room. So naturally, I asked him, "What's all that noise?" Without even looking up, my grandfather just pointed toward the restroom off the kitchen and said, "You'll have to go see for yourself." So I walked over to the restroom, opened the door, and there it was. Inside was this gentleman my mom had hired to move our old metal bathtub. But here's the thing. He was standing inside the tub while trying to lift it out. And his wife, bless her heart, was there too, standing on the side, cheering him on. "You almost got it," she kept yelling. I could barely keep from laughing. I quickly stepped back and shut the door before they could see me. I went right back to my grandfather, still shaking in my head in disbelief. Why don't you tell him that won't work? I asked. He's literally standing in the bathtub while trying to lift it. And my grandfather, without even looking up from his coffee, just grinned a little and said, "Oh boy, we've been trying to tell him, but he won't listen." I couldn't believe it. Then why is he still trying? So I asked. My grandfather took a slow sip of his coffee, looked up at me with that familiar half smile and said, "Because son, he's stuck on stupid.
Hey, we all can get stuck sometimes and do things that later we feel stupid about. This story comes from Chapter 9 entitled Sometimes People Get Stuck. Get unstuck today. Go to yourworthmorebook.com and get a free sample copy of You Are Worth More.
The other thing that, as old as business is, you know, the old adage, the more things change, the more things stay the same. The number one tool in my business to this day still is my telephone. I convert more when I'm talking on the phone. I connect more when I'm talking on the phone. I build better rapport when I'm talking on the phone. When I have someone on the phone, it is a good day. It is, I'm either going to build a great relationship and have a fan or have a follower, or I, best case scenario, have both of those and they're also a client. But there's always something good going to happen when I'm able to have the privilege of having someone's time to be able to speak with them one-on-one for just a few moments. So that being said, you don't have to go with a traditional phone company and spend thousands of dollars on a business phone, or even hundreds of dollars. You literally can get a great phone system that's all, it's voice, it records, it sends out multiple phones at one time. Here's the beautiful thing about our new AI-driven phone system. When phone calls come in, if I'm busy, it can roll right over and one of my AI agents will pick up, nurture that relationship, get that person on my calendar, and allow me to call them back. So it'll basically say, "Hey, this is Terry's AI assistant. He is on the other line right now, but he does want to talk to you because you're very important if you're calling in." And it's basically, what are we calling about? What are you talking about? Sometimes they don't put it on my calendar. Sometimes the information you need is over at his website. And can I text you that link right now? And he'll text them the link. I have an AI assistant that's basically, but when I'm on the phone talking to people, I'm converting, I'm creating relationships, nurturing relationships, strengthening relationships, creating customers. But I don't have to have this, oh my gosh, because I'm spending time here, what am I giving up over here? I don't have that sort of anxiety anymore because, you know, I'm only one person as a solopreneur. Now I know I've got not only a system that's just taking messages. I mean, we've always had voicemail, but now I have a system that is literally talking to the customer, nurturing relationship, asking them questions so they can really reveal what they're looking for. And a lot of times, because my AI system is trained by all of the content on my website and the data I've given it in PDF files, it can answer a lot of those questions. And then if I've got certain things set up, it recognizes this is a potential customer that you would want to do business and they'd want to do business. It puts them on my calendar for me. That is the power of our new voice system. And rather than spending hundreds of dollars a month, on a voice call that just brings the call to you and you only, the traditional phone, now I have a phone system that does that and provides that AI back, basically a call center background for me. And it's only, 130, 140, something like that. I got a full call center now. It's just amazing based on what you need, because some are going to be bigger and will cost more. I had one client down in Florida running a call center, spending about $3,500 a month. We was able to replace all the needs that they wanted for literally $350 a month. That's the power of what you can do by cutting costs. Now they don't have the pressure to produce X amount to get those. Because at the end of the day, what is it about? It's about the margin, the profit that you made. So rather than saying, oh my gosh, how can we come up with another $3,500 in sales? Now we just made them $3,000 basically a month by cutting cost. And it's more efficient and it's always showing up. So you factor that into the equation. Who knows the profitability there? But that is the power of having an AI-driven phone system as well. Helps you out. Your online reputation, I used to war over this. I used to be, someone that, because we had that opportunity space, we've never had, personally anybody say anything, at least they couldn't with any integrity about systems and softwares and strategies, that was in question. It's always been with ours because we've had for years an opportunity. Let's face it, not everybody can perform and do, and it's not a reflection on them. It's you could go to Harvard University, graduate with a law degree, but it doesn't mean that you're going to come out as an F. Lee Bailey or Johnny Cochran or name your lawyer of your mind that warrants the highest demand on fees. The fact is, when you're in the opportunity space, sometimes you can get a ding or so. Restaurant owners are the same way. I deal with people that sell opportunity like we do. I deal with restaurant owners. There's certain industries that's just prone to, people, wanting to sound off. Now with our online reputation, because we've invested money into it, even negative reviews works for us. So now whether it's a positive, negative, it's actually working in our SEO advantage. And you can do the same thing. You can implement something and instead of spending thousands of dollars to get, because at one point we hired an attorney and was spending thousands of dollars because of, what we thought was just unfair, unwarranted, and untrue. And we were able to take care of a situation. But now looking back at that same situation, we would have let it sit right there, implemented some SEO tools and leveraged it. And so those are some strategies that work with our software that a lot of our clients aren't aware of, that you can use the same thing in your business. So now you're not like, oh gosh, I hope someone doesn't, because this is huge. I was dealing with a restaurant owner the other day and he goes, listen, I was telling him here, all you have to do is have them scan this card, have them leave you a review. And he goes, I don't want to do that because you know how it is in restaurant business. If my waitress didn't get out there in time to fill up their, refill tea, or they didn't get here to do that, or they're having a bad day, all of a sudden it's our problem. And I was like, trust me on this, even if it's a negative review, it will work in your favor and I'll show you how. And then we show them the system and say, oh my gosh, you can do the same thing in your business. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on attorneys and lawyers and marketing people to try to do things and take things down. Leave them up there. And then I can show you how everybody that leaves a review is helping you no matter what. So you can do the same thing, and there's a strategy behind it. There's a software and there's a system behind it. And that's what we are able to do with a lot of clients. And most business owners don't know about that, and so they're always wincing. You don't have to wince anymore. And here's the thing. Right now, if you have negative reviews and you don't have a strategy in place and a system in place that actually leverages those, then that's hurting you. And so people that would have gone and tried out your restaurant or tried out your services may be a little bit timid to buy it. With a system in place and a strategy in place, you can mitigate that. So just look at that. Number 6, what are you using with your point of sale? Okay. If you're using Clover, if you're using a lot of these other POS systems, Square Up, those can be expensive. Those can be cumbersome. Sometimes they have exorbitant fees to them. Sometimes they only work with one system, whereas you can, number one, we can show you how to cut the cost of your POS system down by 80%. Number 2, we can show you how it's done in app form. So every iPad, every computer, every telephone you have, a cell phone, whether it be iPhone or Android, you now have your POS system right there. So basically what you've done is turned all of your people, whether it be a restaurant and you have waitresses out there, whether it be a service industry and you have people in the field, everybody that has a cell phone has your POS system in it. Doesn't cost you nowhere near what those other guys cost you. Integrates right there with other systems. and it is a fraction. So look at your point of sale system. What are you paying in fees? What are you paying in expenses? What is it costing you? What are you having to have in hardware? All of that stuff. I think you could save a ton of money if you look at it. Number 7, look at your customer data management. And if you don't have one, get one. You got to have this. I did not appreciate what a customer data management or CRM. I didn't appreciate having one until I had one. And then once I got one, here's what it does for you. It helps you nurture all of your clients' relationships, all of your client relationships when they have a birthday, when their kids have a birthday, when an anniversary comes up, when they call you, when they sent you an email, when they sent you a text, when you guys spoke, when they went to your website and looked at something. Everything and every interaction that you have ever had with that client is digitally recorded and is put in a system that will automatically do things based on the interaction you had. That's powerful. So now if you have thousands of clients, how personable does it sound when you have a business send you an email or text, hey, thinking about you today because I saw it was your special birthday, special day, happy birthday. Thinking about your so-and-so that they're graduating this year from such and such. Congratulations. They're going to think, oh my God, this person remembers everything. But if on this phone call, when we're talking and you're talking about your kid and they're graduating, UNC this year, or you're talking about your wife and she just got a job at such and such, or you're talking about this, or you're talking about that, everything's being recorded. Everything goes into a customer relationship management system. Everything is then can be used to continue that ongoing relationship, and it's automatically sending out to keep you in a good light with your customer. And then if I ever need to go back and look at, what did me and Bill talk about on this? I can go back and look at the quote. If I can, what did he buy from me last year? Because I don't want to oversell him something if he's already got something he's just not aware of. I can go back and look through his history of what he bought. Every stinking thing, from the transactions to the communications, I'm going to have in a system not only that I can call on and look at, but I can also use that to automate interactions moving forward. So if you don't have one, if you've got one of these old systems that don't do that, you need to get one. It's costing you money. These are efficiencies that you can improve on right there. That's going to drive up your retention rate, which is by virtue of high retention, you're going to have more profitability. So look at that. If you don't have that, think about that, because it's something that you can use for your business. Number 8, customer service. Customer service is huge. I would say you can grow your business out of your customer service area more so than you can your sales area, because the more people feel taken care of, the more people have a great experience with your product, goods, and services, the more they like doing business with you. You have just converted them into soldiers in the field that's going to refer their friends, family, and foes to you. And so I would tell you, how are you on your customer service? And if you're not investing money in it, it's not as expensive as you think. If you are investing tons of money in it and you're still having, problems with retention, I want to challenge you into looking at how to drive efficiencies through AI. People hear AI and their eyes roll back. It's this simple. You can take all of your product literature in a PDF form, a PDF file, send it to an AI system. If you got website stuff, podcast stuff, any type of content, send it there. It combs that entire database that you feed it. And then you say, here's what I want you to do, AI customer service rep. I want you to answer questions that people have about the products, goods, and services that we offer. Here's the data that you'll pull, the Wikipedia that we're creating. If they're not satisfied with your answers and you need to ask them, are you satisfied with this, or would you like to continue? Then I want you to book them onto a calendar. If you can do that, I'm telling you, number one, you're going to have way less, because so many times, I can't tell you how many times, 95% of my customer support is asking me simple questions that they just can't find the answers to. And the AI bot gets it to them right there. And so they're not booking an appointment on my calendar just to simply ask me, how do I reset my password? Okay. They're actually booking appointments on my calendar based on things that the AI system would not be able to answer. That's number one. The other thing is, it costs, that thing is working 24/7. Do you know what it would cost to pay just one person to work 24/7? And this system is texting, it's emailing, and talking to them, having a conversation on the phone. I would say you could give 100%, well, that might be extraction. You could give 90% better service at 95% less cost simply by leveraging AI in your customer service. Look at that. That's going to drive up your profitability. It's going to, because the retention is going to be higher, the customer support is going to be better, and customers are going to be happy, and it's just a net win-win everywhere. Number 9, appointment management. What are you doing to manage your appointments? Are you using a real world secretary? Are you you're just writing it down yourself, which is taking you away from other things? You can automate your entire appointment process. If you are a service provider, nail tech, hair salon person, a barber, insurance agent, real estate agent, a coach, a counselor, anybody that has to book appointments with customers, you can automate that entire process. Not only, yes, everybody has a solution that can send somebody a link and they can book it on their calendar. That's out there. And they're about, $29 a month. But what about following up with them, speaking with them via text and email in a conversational, keeping that appointment warm and on the calendar, also integrating it with your point of sale system. So if you're charging for that appointment, you can integrate that, being HIPAA compliant, all the things that, would go into all of, based on your industry, all of the other nuances that would go into managing a calendar and appointment. You can automate that entire process. So now you're cutting out labor, you're driving up efficiencies, you're integrating with your point of sale system, you're integrating with your customer relationship management system, and you're getting it for way less money and it's more effective. That's another component that I want you to look at. What am I using? What am I using? The other thing is, and it's been real popular since my buddy over at ClickFunnels developed this years ago, and that's just the sales funnel. Sales funnels have been out forever, but in today's world, I would tell you, you don't have to spend $300 a month on a sales funnel. You don't have to be a high-tech person. Now AI will build a thing for you. And the other thing is, for what other people are paying $300 for, you can pay for less than $100 a month. And then actually you can package it together and get it down for $10 a month. So a sales funnel is basically a way that you can drive traffic from the internet, from online search, from social media, from text marketing, email marketing, and for some reason, somehow, based on the campaign, you're driving these people into, they see a video, they see a website, and they say, want more information, and it takes them from, and it's basically taking them from, a suspect to a prospect to a lead, and then putting them on your calendar to become either a customer or, converting in some other way. And so those have been out there for a while, but I want to challenge you, look at what you're using. What are you paying for it? How effective is it? How integrated is it with AI? How difficult is it for you to manage and do now? Because now you can literally tell AI, this is what I want, this is what I sell, and I need a sales funnel designed for me, and it does it. Everything I talk to you, all these 10 and more tools than this, these are just the top 10. We have a package where we're offering people right now that literally is $3,800 a month in services and tools and softwares and everything, for around $150 based on what they need. Could be for $150 or less a month. That's what I'm talking about. You could literally cut out 80% of expenses, have it all integrated, drive up your efficiencies, and so that when you're having lean months, that your sales aren't coming in, you don't have the burden on your business to be that much more profitable because you're so much more efficient with your pricing. And then because these tools are so effective and efficient, it is going to drive your sales, because now by leveraging some of these tools that a lot of people aren't using, I can spend more time on the phone selling rather than having to, babysit, this problem or this problem or this problem, because AI can do that for me. So I want you to look at those. Those are the top 10 things that I see right now that no matter what industry you're in, you're probably spending time or money on, and you can leverage AI and these tools right now to really drive up your efficiencies and become more profitable. Hope you enjoyed this. This was episode 621. If you want to talk, go to my website. Love to talk to you. Set up a time anytime. Talk to you later.
So we hope you've got a lot out of the content today. Please take a few minutes to give us a 5-star positive review at terrywilson3.com/review. This helps us promote our content and continue to reach more and more people. Again, thanks for being part of the TW3 community here at terrywilson3.com. Please like and share our content, and we will see you soon.
Welcome, fellow leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Today, I invite you to step into a world where greatness is not just a goal, but a collective reality. Introducing the Elite Mastermind Group by TW3, a sanctuary for those seeking not just success, but exponential growth. It's more than a group. It's a synergy of minds, a convergence of aspirations, and a breeding ground for extraordinary accomplishments. You'll learn not only from experts, but from the stories of those beside you, fellow trailblazers who weathered storms and conquered obstacles, enriching your own journey. Imagine being surrounded by a league of highly motivated business owners and entrepreneurs, each driven by the same passion for success, propelling each other towards greatness. Embrace the power of networking, the art of learning, and the joy of sharing your value. It's not just about what you gain, but what you contribute. Dare to be exceptional. Dare to be part of the elite. Don't just dream of success. Surround yourself with those who are already living it. Join the Elite Mastermind Group by TW3. Elevate your success. Elevate your life.
Unlock the power within you. Discover the untapped potential waiting to be unleashed. You Are Worth More isn't just a book. It's a transformative guide to understanding your unique value in today's ever-evolving marketplace. Visit youareworthmorebook.com and claim your free copy. Within these pages, you'll unravel the secrets to identify your distinct strengths, refine your skills, and ignite the passion to pursue your true worth. Life isn't just about survival, it's about thriving. This book is your roadmap to not only surviving, but excelling in a world that demands your best. It's about recognizing your potential, developing your talents, and finding the inspiration to chase after what truly matters to you. Let You Are Worth More be your companion on this journey. It's not just a book, it's a catalyst for change. Empower yourself, elevate your skills, and embrace the opportunities that await. Visit youareworthmorebook.com today and embark on the path to realizing your full potential. Your worth is far more than you might imagine. Claim your free copy now and begin your transformation.